Hey YouTube, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be discussing two things that are going to help us gain control of our mind. First thing that we need to discuss is going to be called emotional awareness. And then there's another portion of that called radical acceptance. So the reason why both of these are important is because that emotional awareness is being able to recognize what kind of emotions that we're feeling, right? So whether that feeling is sad, happy, depressed, shame, guilt, anxiety, whatever the case may be, we're able to recognize that feeling of emotion. That way we can put it on trial, or therefore question it and ask us why we're feeling that way, right? So once we do that, we're able to take control of our mind, and then that way we don't have to react based off of emotions, but we can react based off of logic and reasoning, and kind of save us a lot of trouble in the end. And the reason why radical acceptance is important is because we cannot control the outcome of any situation, no matter what it is. Whether somebody cuts you off in traffic or somebody gets your order wrong at McDonald's, it doesn't matter, because there's nothing that we can do to change the outcome of the situation that has already happened. The only thing that we can do is control our reaction, which will then dictate our future, which will then determine our consequences, if there are any. So it's very important that we take that into consideration before we react off of emotion, because we're gonna have to be emotionally aware of our emotions or feelings and be able to radically accept what has already happened, no matter if we like the outcome or not. I know for me personally, I've dealt with this in many different scenarios of struggling with radical acceptance. Like, for example, when my father passed away, it was hard for me to accept that he was gone. And I didn't want to believe it, and I was in the stage of denial for grief, and we'll cover the 5 stages of grief in a later video. But I was in that denial stage, and that caused a lot of rage and a lot of guilt, and a bunch of negative feelings just kind of overwhelmed me. And I stayed in those feelings for way too long, and which then affected my mood, which caused me to be depressed, and then being depressed for too long and staying in that triggering emotion caused me to drink way too much and lose a lot of the people that I care about and the people that I love. I'm so thankful to have an amazing support system now and be able to talk to and really just tell everybody how I'm feeling. So I know for one that radical acceptance is one thing that helped me get out of that depression, get me out of that battle with alcohol. So it's important for you to take radical acceptance and emotional awareness serious, because those are the two things that are going to be a stepping stone to getting you out of that dark place that you're in. All right, let's start with an example. So say somebody gets your order wrong at McDonald's, right? And they get it and they hand it to you. Now, these type of emotions that you could be feeling could be upset, you could be angry, you could be disappointed, you can be furious, frustrated, infuriated. It doesn't matter what specific emotion that you're feeling, just as long as that you can identify that emotion, right? You identify that emotion. So Chris is feeling whatever the emotion is. The next step in that process is to question why you're feeling that way. So if you picked anger as that emotion that you're feeling, or if you picked depressed or sad as that emotion you're feeling, you got to ask yourself, what about that situation made you feel that way? You could say, I'm angry because McDonald's should have known my order and should have gotten it right, and now I don't even want to eat this. So now I'm angry. Which then leads us to the next step in this situation, in the emotional awareness. We have to ask ourselves whether or not we can do anything about it now that the situation has already passed. Now, if there is something that you can do about it, that leads to the next step, which is called Nike that shit. You just got to do it. Just go ahead and do it, and then you'll start to feel better and everything will be okay. But you have to make sure that you're not making that decision based off of emotions, and you're making that decision based off of the reason and logic behind it, right? So you might feel that you can throw the food back at them and cause a scene and make everything, let them know that they messed up, but that's not going to change that they messed up. Instead, you could decide to talk to the manager and get your food back or get your money back and have them make the correct order, and ask that in a nice, polite way without having to ruin somebody else's day. In the final step of the situation, in identifying our emotions, we have to ask ourselves, if there isn't anything that we can do about it to change the outcome, what do we do? Well, the answer is nothing. There's nothing you can do at this moment in time. So you go ahead and take that and throw it away. Throw that emotion away, toss it to the side until there's something that you can do to change that emotion. And you can do that by a number of ways of distraction. So you could try to put your mind in something positive. You can do a mindfulness technique to where you're doing like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, or you're practicing meditation to calm your nerves and become mindful in that moment to know that there's nothing that you can do to change what has already happened. Because once we master these two exercises, it's going to help us become masters of our mind, right? If we don't let the little things distract us, or if we don't let situations that are outside of our control dictate our moods, then we gain full control of our mindset. And that is huge. That's called mental clarity. Once you have mental clarity, you are able to accomplish anything that you set your mind to. So for me, example, once I let go of my dad's passing, and I know that he's in a better place, and I know that he loved me, and I know that I'm making him proud by doing these things, then I was able to set myself free of that guilty and depressed and shameful mood that I was in. And I suggest that you guys do the same. Take whatever situation it is in life that's holding you back at this moment, and question yourself. Put it on trial. Put those emotions on trial. Identify those emotions, because that is what's going to set you free in life, is knowing that no matter what, the situation has passed. You can't do anything to change it. And it sucks, and you might not like it, but guess what? There's nothing we can do about it. The only thing that we can do is keep pressing forward and keep moving forward for the ones that love us today. So to conclude this video, it's important that we realize that once we master radical acceptance, we master emotional awareness, there's not very much that can slow us down, because those two things determine our moods, right? If we don't accept something that was out of our control, that can affect our mood for the long haul. And if we aren't aware of the emotion that we're feeling, we won't be able to put it on question to see why we're feeling that way, or figure out why we're feeling that way. So it's important, it's vital that you continue to practice these emotional awareness and radical acceptance. As always, it's been an honor and a privilege for me to be able to talk to you guys today. I really enjoyed our segment about emotional awareness and radical acceptance. I talk about this stuff on my blog as well. So if you want to go ahead and read more content about how you can practice radical acceptance, or how you can become better at becoming emotionally aware, please go to my blog and leave a comment. Tell me something great about your day, or something that you learned from that blog. Or you can comment on this YouTube video and tell me what you learned about in this YouTube video. Or if you have any constructive criticism, things that you would like to see me do a little bit better, I'm always ears, and I always appreciate it. No matter what, I'm just trying to get better so I can better serve you. Be on the lookout for more YouTube videos from me as well. I'm going to begin posting 2 times a week starting next week. I believe this next YouTube video is going to be coming out on Tuesday. So I'm so excited for that, so I can start to talk and share more stories with you guys and become more of a familiar and become more of a family and get to know each other a little bit better. I'm going to leave you guys with this. I love you all. I hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend, and you remain positive. Until next time, deuces.